Everyone thinks the amazing world of Gumball is just about a blue cat getting into trouble with his goldfish brother. But hidden inside all that chaos are actual money lessons that nobody talks about. And it all starts with Richard Watterson. In The Founder, Richard Watterson accidentally becomes the CEO of a billion-dollar company. Here's how it happens. Nicole tells Richard to wait in the car while she pays their cable bill at Shanak's headquarters. But Richard sees a vending machine and wanders inside. The employees see this random guy in their building and somehow convince themselves he's their mysterious founder who disappeared years ago. Richard has no idea what's happening, but he just goes with it. They give him the corner office, the executive bathroom, unlimited expense account, the whole CEO package. Now here's where it gets good. Richard starts making the dumbest suggestions ever. He tells them to remove the building's foundation because it's holding them back. He wants to replace all elevators with slides. These are terrible ideas that would destroy any real company. But because everyone thinks he's a genius CEO, they do it anyway. This is fake it till you make it in its purest form. Richard didn't apply for the job. He doesn't have a degree. He can't even spell CEO. But by accidentally acting confident and letting people believe what they wanted to believe, he got access to everything.
I own the place.
I'm sorry for keeping you waiting, sir. Please don't fire me. I'll tell the CEO immediately.
Look at how many successful people did exactly this. Elizabeth Holmes convinced investors to give her billions for Theranos by acting like she knew what she was doing. The guy who founded Fire Festival literally faked an entire luxury music festival. Now, both of those ended badly because they were scams, but the principle still works when you use it right. The lesson isn't to lie about everything. It's that confidence opens doors. If you walk into a room like you belong there, people assume you do. If you speak with authority, people listen. Richard proved you don't need credentials if you have confidence, but confidence alone won't build a real business. You need something people actually want to buy. In The Menu, Gumball and Darwin somehow become CEOs of a fast food chain.
Great job! The board wants you as our new CEOs!
They discover this thing called a secret ingredient that makes their food insanely popular. There are huge lines around the block, customers going crazy, and lots of money coming in. They don't even know what the secret ingredient is, but it doesn't matter because the brand is working. This is exactly how real fast food empires are built. KFC has 11 herbs and spices that nobody knows. McDonald's has special sauce that's basically Thousand Island dressing. In-N-Out has a secret menu that isn't actually secret. The product matters less than the story you tell about it. Gumball and Darwin stumble into this by accident, but they nail the fundamentals, create mystery around your product, make people feel like they're getting something special. Build a brand identity that sticks in people's heads. That's worth more than any actual secret ingredient. Think about Supreme, the clothing brand. They sell basic t-shirts for hundreds of dollars. Why? Because they built a brand that makes people feel exclusive. It has the same cotton, same manufacturing, but the logo changes everything about it. That's the power of branding. The boys learn another lesson too. Having a unique product and strong brand can make you successful even if everything else about your business is chaos. They don't know how to run a company. They can barely count money, but the brand is so strong it carries them anyway. After they sell the company for billions, something interesting happens that teaches an even bigger lesson. In The Money, the Watterson family is broke, like can't afford food broke, so they do what any desperate family does. They try every get-rich-quick scheme they can think of. Contests, scams, gambling, and selling stuff they don't even own. Respect. Each scheme gets crazier and more dangerous than the last. This is where the show gets real about money. Every shortcut they take backfires. The family is so focused on getting rich fast that they ignore all the warning signs. Sound familiar? That's because this is exactly how most people approach money. Look at everyone who lost everything in crypto scams, or multi-level marketing schemes, or day trading with borrowed money. They all thought they found the shortcut and even believed this time was different, but they all ended up worse than when they started. The episode doesn't sugarcoat it either. Their greed doesn't just cost them money, it nearly destroys their family. They turn on each other and even put each other in danger, all for money that doesn't even exist. This is the harsh truth about chasing money without a plan. It makes you stupid. The Wattersons learned this the hard way, which is the only way anyone learns it. But here's the thing, making money isn't actually that complicated if you understand one simple principle. Back in The Founder, after Richard accidentally became CEO, he also showed one of the most important lessons ever. Once he's in the executive suite, doors start opening everywhere. Other CEOs want to meet him, investors want to fund his ideas, politicians want his endorsement, all because they think he's connected. Richard doesn't know any of these people. He can barely remember their names, but they don't care. They see him in the CEO chair and assume he must be important, so they treat him like he's important. And because they treat him that way, he actually becomes important. This is how networking really works. It's not not about collecting business cards or adding people on LinkedIn. It's about being in the right rooms with the right people who assume you belong there. Richard proves you don't need to be smart or talented or even competent. You just need to be in the network. Watch what happens next. Richard's terrible ideas start getting implemented because other executives want to copy the visionary founder. This leaves his nonsense to become industry standard and get applied across several companies. His random comments become business philosophy, all because he's networked into the system. But even with all the money and connections in the world, there's still one thing that matters more. After Gumball and Darwin sell their food company for billions, they move into a mansion so big they need GPS to find the bathroom. They have so much money they can't even count it. They won, they're rich, they made it, and they're miserable. The house is so big they can't find each other. They try to have a conversation, but they're in different wings of the mansion. They try to play together, but the game room is a mile away from the TV room. They have everything money can buy and nothing that actually matters. This hits different because we just watched them work so hard to get rich. We saw them build the company, create the brand, make the deals. We celebrated when they sold it, and now we're watching them realize it was all pointless. The show doesn't beat around the bush here. Money without connection is worthless. Success without relationships is failure. You can have billions in the bank and still be broke in every way that matters. Gumball and Darwin learn what every rich person eventually learns. The money was supposed to make life better, but it actually made it worse. They traded their simple life where they could actually hang out for a complex life where they're always alone. This is the lesson nobody wants to hear, but everybody needs to learn. The goal isn't to get rich. The goal is to build a life worth living. Money is just a tool to help you do that. But if you sacrifice everything to get the tool, you've got nothing left to build with. This wasn't the most valuable lesson, though. In the lesson, Gumball and Darwin get detention, and it's basically a mini prison run by this kid Julius, who treats it like his personal kingdom. The boys try everything to escape. They dig tunnels that collapse. They fake being sick but get caught. They try to outsmart Julius, but he always seems to be one step ahead. Every single escape plan fails, and I mean every single one. Most people would give up after 2 or 3 failures. But Gumball and Darwin keep trying new approaches. Each failure teaches them something. The tunnel taught them about structural integrity. The fake illness taught them about believability. The mind games taught them about power dynamics. This is exactly how successful entrepreneurs think. They don't see failure as the end, they see it as data. Every failed business teaches you what doesn't work. Every rejected pitch shows you what to improve. Every lost customer tells you what to fix. Look at any billionaire's history. James Dyson created 5,126 failed prototypes before his vacuum worked. Colonel Sanders got rejected by 1,009 restaurants before KFC took off. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. They all failed constantly. The difference is they learned from each failure. Gumball and Darwin finally succeed in detention, not by escaping, but by adapting to the system. They learn Julius's rules, find their place in the hierarchy, and work within it instead of against it. Sometimes the best strategy isn't to fight the system, it's to understand it so well you can use it. That's what real business success looks like. You try something, it fails. You learn why, you adapt, you try again. The boys turned detention from a punishment into an education. That's the entrepreneurial mindset right there. Speaking of learning from mistakes, sometimes the biggest mistake is not communicating clearly. Gumball and Darwin get sent to Mr. Small, the school counselor, to learn about honesty. Sounds simple, right? Wrong. Mr. Small is the worst communicator in cartoon history. He gives them advice that contradicts itself. He uses metaphors that make no sense. He says one thing, means another, and expects them to understand a third thing. The boys try to follow his advice, and it's a complete disaster. They think being honest means telling everyone exactly what they think all the time. They insult teachers, destroy friendships, cause total chaos, all because Mr. Small couldn't communicate a simple concept clearly. This happens in business every single day. A CEO gives vague instructions and wonders why nothing gets done right. A manager sends mixed signals and then blames the team for being confused. A company says one thing to customers but does something completely different. Look at every corporate disaster and you'll find bad communication at the root. Enron told investors everything was fine while they were collapsing. Theranos promised revolutionary technology they couldn't deliver. WeWork claimed to be a tech company when they just rented desks. The episode shows what happens when communication breaks down. Gumball and Darwin aren't trying to cause problems. They're trying to follow instructions, but when the instructions don't make sense, even good intentions lead to bad outcomes. Clear communication isn't just about being honest, it's about being understood. Mr. Small might think he's teaching profound wisdom, but if nobody understands what he's saying, he's just making noise. Same thing in business. You can have the best ideas in the world, but if you can't explain them clearly, they're worthless. The boys eventually figure out what Mr. Small was trying to teach them, but only after massive destruction. That's the cost of bad communication. Wasted time, ruined relationships, missed opportunities, all prevent preventable if someone just spoke clearly from the start, but even when you communicate perfectly, there's still one thing that trips everyone up. Grandpa Louie shows up and hands the Watterson kids a check for $5,000. Just like that. Free money. And immediately, everything goes insane. Gumball wants to buy a lifetime supply of video games. Darwin wants a massive aquarium. Aeneas wants to invest it, but in the most complicated way possible. Richard wants to eat it. Nicole wants to pay bills. Everyone has a plan and they're all terrible. The family literally races to the bank, fighting each other the whole way. They're so focused on their individual wants that they nearly destroy the check, crash the car, and ruin their relationships, all over money that appeared out of nowhere. This is exactly what happens to most people who get sudden money. Lottery winners go broke within 5 years. Athletes blow through millions before they retire. Inheritance disappears in months. Why? Because they treat windfalls like free money instead of responsibility. The Wattersons show us every mistake people make with unexpected cash. No planning, no discussion, no priorities, just pure emotional reaction and selfish grabbing. They're so excited about what they could buy that they don't think about what they should do. Think about how many people destroyed their lives with sudden money. MC Hammer made $33 million and went bankrupt. Mike Tyson earned $300 million and ended up broke. They all made the same mistake. They thought the windfall changed the rules. It doesn't. The episode nails the psychology perfectly. When money appears suddenly, our brains short-circuit. We stop thinking rationally. We make decisions we'd never make with earned money. We fight with people we love over numbers in a bank account. The real lesson? A windfall isn't a lottery ticket. It's a test. It tests your discipline, your priorities, your relationships. The Wattersons fail that test spectacularly, nearly losing the money and each other in the process, just like most people do in real life. Those were the most valuable business lessons in Gumball, and if you thought they were helpful and want to see how South Park can teach you business, click the video on screen.